than their record. We all know that, and we know they're going to be way better. And so, you know, it's tough because you hear all that stuff swirling around them, but you know once you get on the floor, all that stuff is gone, and you have to compete against a extremely talented team, if not the deepest, most talented team in the league.
Doc, before you make a move like this to acquire your son, how much do you have to look at the dynamics and how it can potentially affect the locker room, because that's the thought on most people's minds?
Well, as long as it's not on our minds in there. We don't care about the other people outside the locker room. We really don't. It doesn't matter to us. So, but you do think about all that stuff. You know, you worry about, but you do that with every single deal, which nobody gets. You know, you really do. There's times that I've brought the right guys in the locker room, and it's worked, and there's times that I haven't, and it hasn't worked. And so when it doesn't work, you try to make another change. When it works, you try to build around it. And my job is to build around those three guys and just keep building our team. And that's all we're trying to do. We're not in any rush. You know, we like where we are as far as the way we're playing. Record-wise, we're good. You know, are we good enough to win it? We think so. But we're just looking for we are looking, if I had to figure out a group, it would be just that group of guys that want to fit in and do their jobs.
Doc, what did Mrs. Rivers have to say about this, and are you prepared to deal with any blowback from her?
No, I'm never prepared for that. I can tell you that straight up. You know, nor would I even ask her about this situation. I do. You know, you have to do that because it is unique in that way. But as far as the blowback from her, I am not prepared for that. That will be different.
What did she think though when the whole thing came official?
She like, you know, obviously we talked about it before we were going to do it, and she was good with it. So she gave me her blessing.
Doc, when was the critical turning point? Because last year you had reservations about coaching a son. When did it all come together? When was the epiphany feel saying, I can coach Austin? Well,
the biggest one is the group around me, our coaches and Dave Wool and Kevin, and you know, he fits our team. And they, you know, we had a small opportunity this summer, and you know, for me, I was like, you know, I don't know. But at the end of the day, my job is to do what I think is the best for the team, not the best for me or what's comfortable for me. And we felt like this was, and so that probably swayed me more than the father part swayed me. I can tell you that. I was probably on the other way, that way. But as far as a executive, I had to think of it in that terms. And it made sense for us.
Doc, I think there's a notion out there that it was easier to trade for him because he's your son. Mm-hmm. Was it the opposite? Was it harder because of all the extra attention and all that other stuff? Was it harder to
as far as the dynamics of the trade?
No, I mean just for you to say yes to something like that.
No, I think it was pretty much the same. I mean, I don't know if it was easier or harder. Sure, probably harder for me because I had to put more thought into it, you know. But other than that, not really.
You guys also released Jordan today. What went into that decision? It seemed like you were trying to maybe trade him to. How did it lead to a buyout, and what does that do for you guys flexibility?
It gives us a lot of flexibility, and the fact that, you know, like last year, and again, we could be wrong with this. We think this will be another buyout season for a lot of guys. You want to have flexibility, and it gives us that.
I'm sure after you found out that you got Austin and the deal went through, you guys had an interesting conversation.
Well, I may have had it before then. I mean, I don't know what tampering is, you know, when you're talking to your own son. I mean, I got a feeling I might have broke some rules. I'm not sure about that, you know. So, no, we had the conversation before then.
I mean, did the two of you have to lay down any ground rules, or how did that conversation go?
Well, I think the biggest difference is now that I'm his coach, he has to actually listen to me. You know, now, I would say in his part, he's probably thinking any kid will listen to their parent if they pay him. So I guess in both ways, we went both ways in that one.
Doc, did you ever think, you know, raising a son that plays basketball?
By the way, the guy behind you is who Austin is named after. That's a fact. That's not. I'm not just saying that. That's an actual fact. So for your history lesson.
Did you ever think when raising, you know, a son that plays basketball and then watching him get drafted, you're obviously a head coach in the NBA, did you ever think wow, it'd be cool someday to coach my son in the NBA.
I
Did you ever
actually,
think about that?
I can honestly say I never thought that that would be cool, or that it would happen. You know, I heard that a lot. You know, and Danny, when we were in Boston, brought it up a lot. But I just never thought it would actually happen, or I would pursue it. You know, and this kind of happened, and I thought it was the right thing to do, so I did it.
Doc, what you obviously know Austin very well. What that you know about him makes you think that he can handle the situation? It's not just a regular trade, but obviously a lot of attention to pay.
At the end of the day,
22.
it's basketball, and he has to play. He is young. That's one of the reasons we wanted him. We looked at it as a really young, nice asset to have. I think kids who have played, who have parents who have done anything, have played under a different microscope their whole life. I don't think tonight is any different, or any night is any different for them. So I think a lot of those guys, from Klay Thompson, you just go down the list of guys, they've been under a microscope because of that. And so I don't think big moments have ever been a problem for Austin or any of those guys, and I think that's an advantage. That's why I thought this wouldn't be that big of a deal for him.
Doc, in this situation, who has put more pressure on you or Austin?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it puts pressure on all of us. Our team is trying to win. So, you know, but you know me good enough. I don't know about the pressure part. I mean, that's a word that people say. I hope I have so much pressure on myself to begin with, because we all want to win. That's why I'm here. That's one of the reasons we brought Austin in, and that's why Blake's in the locker room and Chris. So the pressure's there, but it's healthy pressure. It's pressure that you want. You know, it's pressure that you seek.
Sam?
Doc, Ty Lue was back in the building.
Yeah.
What did he mean to you when he was here? Did you connect with him tonight, and what do you make of it?
I'm not speaking to Ty Lue until after the game. No, we speak damn near every day, I feel like. He's not only just a great coach, he's a friend. And, you know, he's just a very close friend. I talk to him all the time. So I want him to do well, not tonight, you know. I think he's done great things there from what I've heard. He was phenomenal here. Our guys miss him, you know. He has a gift, you know, and you know, I try to identify guys like that now as a coach. You know, I was with Ty only for 10 days, 10 games, and in Cleveland, or in Orlando, as far as coaching him. And I think after the 5th game, I told him, if you ever want to coach, you have a job, guaranteed. You can just see it. You know, I've told a lot of guys that Sam Cassell's one of the other ones. And so it's good that they're both doing their jobs and doing what I actually thought they would do in the long run. So,
Any advice for him and what those guys are going through? I mean,